Welcome back to another episode of Gossip Break, the cherry on top of your day. I'm one of your hosts, Becky,
And I'm your other host, Bree.
and we've got a gossip break, a Bravo themes gossip break, because the Bravo universe has been popping off this week.
Happy Friday, girls. It's
Ugh.
such a Friday talking about Bravo, having a gossip break with my girl. It's a good day. I hope you guys are you're setting the mood right now. Maybe you're getting ready to go out, listening. I love to listen to a podcast while I'm getting ready. Or maybe you're driving to work or getting home from work. I don't know. I just hope you're having a good day, girls.
Yeah, and we hope you enjoy this gossip break, listening as much as we are having doing it because this is just so much fun. I actually have a bone to pick, Brie.
Okay, starting off.
Yeah, starting off right. This one's for the girl. This is specifically for the girlies. So there's this trope, this theme, this trend on TikTok. Our dear friend Leticia actually made a TikTok about this, about like, why are y'all bringing your boyfriends to Pilates classes? Like,
Shout out friend of the pod, Leticia.
yeah, shout out to our friend of the pod, Leticia. Hope you're listening.
She shot
No,
our cover art.
yes, no pressure, but like, hope you hear that you've been mentioned.
We better be getting a text later.
I'll be waiting. No, but yeah, she made a funny TikTok. Like I just saw a week or two ago about why are y'all bringing your boyfriends to Pilates classes? They're fucking up the vibe. And as a girly that loves Pilates, I agree with what she said to an extent, but I also like, not to be annoying, but if I had a boyfriend, I would love to bring him to Pilates classes, maybe just like one, just to like put him through the torture because men always think they can do stuff so easily. Like it's just so
Yeah.
easy for them. Like, oh, it's just Pilates. Okay, well, you hold a plank for 90 seconds and we'll see. So I was taking a heated Pilates class last night
Ooh,
and
heated.
it literally beat my ass. Honestly, I checked my heartbeats per minute through my Apple Watch and I'm a little concerned. Like I will be putting down for the next 3 days because I was like, I don't think it was supposed to get that high for that long. But I'm adding that context just to show you how strenuous this workout was. Okay. It was
Yeah.
not easy. I was very proud of myself after I had to go right to bed after.
Those ones put you right to sleep. I
No,
love that.
immediately shower to the bed. Like I didn't care what mess was around my apartment, clothes. I was like, if I don't go to sleep right now, I think I'm gonna I'm scared to go to sleep. Actually, I might not wake up. Like seriously, I was like,
Please.
no, I was that concerned about my heartbeat because I was like, this is not normal. I had to Google it and it was like, don't do that again. So I was like a little scared to go to sleep. Anyways, all to say, that class is full of the girly pops. We're in our 20s, we're in our 30s, some in our 40s and 50s. We all got our cute matching little sets on. We're all, because it's to the beat of the music. So, like, I think that's why I
Love.
got so excited because it's like to the music. So, it's like it's dancing and I don't dance. So, that's like what I
It's
do
yeah,
instead.
more cardio than
Yeah, it's
I would say.
definitely more
And
cardio.
it's heated.
Right. So, we're in class. The girls are, our coach is keeping us motivated. Y'all, I'm not joking. I'm in the very front, which is also why I feel like I did too fucking much because I
Yeah,
was
that's why you
like,
were doing the most. When
I
you're
was
in the
like,
front, you have like a point to prove.
no, I'm literally right next to the instructor. Like
You
literally, I'm
will
like,
not catch me slipping.
oh my God. I was like, I have to keep up. And I did, but at what cost? Like it almost cost me my life. Seriously. So during the class, all you hear is, oh, like with every beat, mind you, all the girlies are silent, and some people let out a woo. Like
Yeah.
sometimes, because it's like fun. Like you're in a party, the instructor will ask you something, like how are we feeling, and you're like, woo,
Yeah.
and you're like swinging your towels, whatever. Like, okay, cool. All of a sudden, I hear this aggravating noise. The whole class, y'all, like all 55 fucking minutes, he was screaming. He's the only one screaming, and he's the only man. And he was like 60 years old.
Killing the vibe. The grunting like a dog. I hate it.
I literally was so offended. Like I could not believe that this was happening. Cause like I could hear him, but I couldn't see him. And I was like, this
Yeah.
that grunting is
That's even
really
more sinister.
it was so masculine. I was like, no, like this, there has to be a man in here somewhere. There's no way a girl is using the very little energy we all have left to like grunt loud as fuck. And then when we got out of the class, I saw him a pool of sweat. Like, I'm not gonna fault him for that. It's a hot class. I'm not gonna judge you for sweating. But like it's the fact you are literally taking up so much physical and spiritual space in here. And I
Yeah,
didn't.
have some coot.
Yeah, like if you're gonna be the only man, you know, I would be so quiet. I would like
You won't even know I'm here. Like, I
yeah,
won't make a peep.
I wouldn't make a peep. You're telling me this like 20-year-old little university girl is out here killing it, not making a sound. And you are literally grunting as if we're like hip thrusting 300 pounds. It's literally 3-pound weights in each hand.
That would be a total vibe killer. Even when I'm at the gym and I have headphones on
Yes.
and I can still hear the grunting like dogs. It's like I know you don't have to be doing that every set. You want us to look at you.
Yeah, exactly. Like every once in a while, totally get it. You're pushing
Yes.
yourself to the limit. Love that for you, King. Every beat.
You can tell when they're being posers. That's what it
Yes.
is. You can tell when it's real and when they're being posers. And you're already in a Pilates class, first of all, sir. Any the Pilates classes I've been to, well, the first one I went to actually, it was all older people. And I actually thought, like, did I book the wrong class? Like, did I put, I don't know, I don't know what I did, but there was okay, a lot. There was two old men in there, but they behaved themselves. They were quiet. Afterwards, they were like, wow, this was actually a lot harder than I was expecting. They said to their wives, how gentlemen should act in a Pilates class.
Thank you. You see how we're all acting in Pilates? Very demure, very mindful. He was the least mindful person. Like he didn't give a fuck that there were like 20 other women in there trying to get their groove on. Oh, guy, it bothered me so much. I had to bring it on the pod today. That was yesterday. I literally was texting Bree and I was so short while I was texting her. I was like, wait, I'm sorry. That was so like, please don't think I'm trying to be rude and short with you. I literally just had to deal with like a screaming grown man for an hour.
This has been brewing since last night.
No, it has. So that's my bone to pick. Thanks, Leticia, for giving me. Actually, no. Leticia, I'm blaming you for this because you spoke it into existence, and I thought about it so much that I manifested it in my real life.
Oh my God, it happened after you saw that. That's so funny. I thought you saw it. I was like, oh, validation.
No, I saw it earlier this week, and I was like, luckily that hasn't happened to me, but I understand the vibe check. No, and then I met the worst man ever.
She was a trendsetter. She saw the vision happen before.
Oh my gosh.
That was our pre-gossip break before the Bravo gossip break.
Yes. Now we'll get into these stories.
Do we start with our girl? Well, we
Yeah,
have two
well,
of our girls on the list.
unfortunately, yeah, but we'll start with the girl I know you're talking about.
The bad news
Yeah,
corner.
bad news first. So, Real Housewife of New Jersey, Teresa Giudice has been hit with a $300,000 tax lien as her husband, Louis Ruelas, is also owes over $2.5 million in taxes. Let me read this headline. Well, this is actually a messy ass article. Who
No,
wrote
I was
this?
reading it. It's like the Yahoo Entertainment, and they were messy as hell the way they wrote it. It was so, it's kind of funny though.
No, it's our group chat.
We should just read it out loud to the girls.
Okay, so well, Teresa Giudice had better cross her fingers that she is asked back to the Real Housewives of New Jersey, while the RHONJ cast is waiting for a word about who, if any, of the ladies will return. Teresa is having more money problems, and I'm not sure a Real Housewife paycheck would be enough to bail her out this time. Teresa
Damn.
owes over $300,000 in tax, and Louis owes over 2.5 million according to the njcourts.gov. She
Yeah, it's like
oh
verified. This is from the government documents that people brought up.
dot dot gov.
So it said Teresa has a tax lien for $300,000. Teresa previously paid 480,000 off another tax debt totaling like 1.1 million. So as of October 2023, she still owed 615,000 for that tax debt. So it's like, is this 303,000 another thing, or are they just saying she still has this much money to pay off? I think it's another thing.
I feel like it's another one.
I think it's another thing. Yeah, reading it more. But I mean, Louis 2.5 million is insane. I mean, how are you ever going to pay that off? It said, as you may recall, Louis took out a $1 million loan on the home that he and Teresa share. However, the court documents list that this Louis is the sole member of the LLC that bought the mansion. Then it says,
Whoa.
I'd file that under things that make you go, this shady ass article. I could just see them writing this like Carrie Bradshaw at their laptop.
Free. That is exactly what I was imagining. Like Carrie Bradshaw. And then I began to wonder how much
What does
money
this all
does it
mean?
go? Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so yeah, let's get into this because obviously, yeah, the elephant in the Bravo room. This is so frustrating, especially as a fan of her, because it's like, what are you doing right now? How have you not learned from your lesson? The worst possible scenario ever happened to her. She was found guilty. She did go to jail. Her husband went to jail. They got divorced and he got deported to another fucking country. How much worse can it get than that? And then you're going to put yourself in potentially the same situation with another shady ass man.
I never have heard of someone buying or taking out a loan under an LLC.
I think that's what happens with what rich there's like a way that these really
Oh, like
rich people
tax
do
loops.
things, and it's yeah, kind of confusing. I'm not saying that they're really rich because clearly not, but there was this video I saw, and I don't know if it has anything to do with this. I could just be talking on my ass, but somebody was talking about in the terms of Elon Musk and how he has so much money, as they were saying it's because he could like take out a loan for what Tesla is worth theoretically. So it's like, okay, if it's doing really well at the time, then he could say, oh, I'm like, I don't know, I'm worth this much money. But
Mm-hmm.
then, and then you could like take out a loan based on that. So it's like, I wonder if Louis was doing something like that where he was like, oh, we don't maybe technically have this much money, but this is what we're worth right now, and taking out a lot of
Yeah.
money. And then I'm pretty sure his business failed, get filed for bankruptcy. So now
Yeah.
he has to pay that money and he doesn't really have it. There's something obviously off with it. I don't know exactly how it works, but 2.5 million is a fuck ton. I mean, even 303,000 on hers, or however much it is, 300,000 is a lot of
That's a
money.
lot of money. That's over together they owe like close to $4 million in taxes
No
to the
prenup.
banks. Ooh. Yeah,
Let's talk about that.
no prenup, y'all. No prenup. Because he's obviously in a worse position than she is. Like, I'll take my $300,000 in debt over $3 million in debt. However, they don't have a prenup. So, God forbid they split up. She takes half of his debt.
And that's why I'm saying, how did you not learn your lesson around the first time? You would think that no matter who she got in a relationship with next and married to, it would have been the first thing she mentioned, we're getting a prenup. So the fact that she didn't, and then let's talk about the Watch What Happens Live of it all, because all I can think about is that episode when Teresa was on Watch What Happens Live and Gia was the bartender, and I think it was like Bob Harper question
Yeah.
mark as the other
Yeah.
guest, which is so funny now with traders. But Andy asked, or one of the viewer questions asked, if she was getting a prenup with Louis, and she was like, no, like why would I do that? and even and then Andy was like, well, what do you mean? Why would you do that? after what happened, you would think you just want to be safe this time. And then Gia cuts in and interrupts, and she's like, no, it would be stupid of her to do that. Like, why would she do that? I don't know exactly the words she said,
Yeah,
but
she
she
was
had
like,
such an
why would she do that?
yeah, she had such an attitude about the way she said it. Like she was mad at Andy for even thinking to ask what a dumb question to ask, which is no, it's actually the question everybody is thinking.
No, mind you, they pan to the audience and everyone's confused. Teresa, I'm sorry, you are too fucking old. You are 50 something years old. You have four grown daughters. You need to, whether or not you're so in love, 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 and like whatever you believe, like I have children to protect. If I'm not going to protect
Yeah.
myself, if not my family.
You have four daughters that you should just be more weary of. Like they already went through so much trauma. Both their parents went to jail. Their dad lives in another country. They have to fly to another country to see their dad. And we're still making the same mistakes.
And you're like, why would I sign a prenup? To protect your kids. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. It's just, you're too old to be making these mistakes. This is just deplorable, honestly. It's real, like I don't have any sympathy for you and
I
what
just don't
could
know how they're going
potentially.
to pay that off. That's an insane amount. Like I'm not me doing literal calculations right now. Imagine, okay, 2.5 million. Let's say it took them, I don't know, 3 years. That's very generous. I just want to see,
That's
like, I just
generous.
want to see 3 years, how, like, what it would be. It's almost like $70,000 a month they would have to pay. There's no
Yeah.
way.
There's
I mean,
no way.
so they're going to be paying this off for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
And she needs to basically keep
Because they'll put
working.
you on a little payment plan.
Yeah, that monthly payment plan is probably crazy right now.
Yeah.
And it's hard to not look at all the stuff that they've done since they've been married, all the vacations they go on, the huge house they have, all of the designer stuff they're always flaunting. And it's just really frustrating to see all of that when you see how much they owe. Because it's one thing if you don't owe any money and it's like, okay, you guys are balling. I respect it, like show off. But this, this is,
And you might not have a job next year. Like we're
yeah,
New Jersey Housewives is up in the air right now. Even if it wasn't, you make what, $1 million a season? That's still a lot of money, but it's
yeah.
like, okay, that's what you owe in like a month.
Exactly. I just can't believe she didn't get a prenup because like you said, she could get her way out of the 300,000. Yes, it's still a lot of money, but if you're still working as she's doing and the kind of job she does, so like for TV appearances, she could probably pay that off within a few years, but you add that 2.5 million on there from Louis, no prenup. Now you're working for the rest of your life. Now you have to hope that Andy will employ you until you retire.
That's why she's been doing all these appearances. That's why her ass was
Mhm.
at McDitton's.
Exactly. The grimiest bar in Tampa.
Like,
Pouring Patron down my mouth.
yeah, she had to clock. She was literally clocking
She was
in.
clocked in.
She knew this was, she had to have known this was coming. I want to know who dropped this story, who leaked this to the press, because it's a government document, so anyone could have found this at any time. I just want to know who was like, ooh, let's see what
What they're
the
up
New
to.
Jersey courts have to say about this. It's giving Margaret Josephs to
Everybody was
me.
thinking it.
To me.
No, to me as well.
It's just like not you making me side with Melissa and Joe.
No, they're cackling right now.
Because they've
Melissa
never,
is even like Cheshire cat smiling, grinning, and I can't even blame her.
I can't either. I'd be like, see, you dummy. Like, I don't even have to fight with you anymore. Like, you owe $3 million. I'm not even gonna waste my breath on you. Like, you are paying your karmic dues.
Yeah. And that's what it is. It just feels very karmic that this is happening all over again because God will continue to give you lessons if you do not evolve and change the same lessons over and over and over again.
Over and over. And for you to be in this lesson again, that's like a huge lesson to learn.
That's
Like,
what I'm
this isn't
saying. Like
like,
she had the worst of the worst happen to
yeah.
her. You think that that would scare you shitless into acting right for the rest of your life?
No.
But no, it's really not enough for her. And that's why she's a great reality TV star. But
Yeah.
oh my God, what a mess, man.
Oh, Teresa. Good
Question
luck.
mark?
Clock in, lady.
Clock in. I hope that they actually have you back. Because remember, we were talking about that. It was rumored that the
Mhm.
cast was not going to have Teresa, that she was going to have a spin off show. But spin off shows don't always last that long.
Yeah.
But then also, I could also see Andy being like, I want to see this play out. So
Because
maybe
I do.
I kind of want to see it too, but only if they're going to talk about it because I feel like
Yeah.
even last season they were hinting at him having financial problems and then they never got into it. It was like in the trailers and stuff and then I don't know, did they
He's
ever really talk about
sketchy.
it?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Everybody thinks so. It's not an unpopular opinion.
It's
And
actually the
he
very
proved
problem.
it. He proved
Yeah,
why we were trying to give him benefit of the doubt.
we tried. We
We
really did.
tried.
I mean, I have a picture with him. I really tried. I was rooting for him.
We probably tried more than like anybody else.
And now look. But
Uh,
the Grand Dame, which I wouldn't take legal advice from her either. Um, but she said you got to make millions to owe millions, and I guess he has had some money. He's had his hand on some money. How? I don't know, but now he owes it.
I remember this summer, there was TikToks. There wasn't ever any official confirmation of anything and it didn't go anywhere. So I didn't talk about it. But I remember seeing TikToks this summer of somebody who worked for his company. I don't know what it's called, like Nvidia, or I could literally just be making that up. I don't know where that came from. But he has some kind of company that's like a media company or something like that. And that's the one he filed bankruptcy for. But this summer, I feel like I remember seeing somebody who worked there, and it was a higher up person making all these videos about how they haven't paid her yet. And it's been like all these weeks. And she kept showing all the WhatsApp messages and the emails being like, where's my money? When am I getting paid? Where's my
Like,
money? And it just never happened. So, yeah, it's kind of not surprising that if they didn't have money to pay their employees, like, where is that money going?
yeah,
The last thing I'll say, I just don't understand how you didn't hire the best accountant ever after what happened
bro.
because I know because like me as a freelancer when I have to pay my taxes it's hell because I don't get them automatically taken out. I have to make sure I save for them every month and yada yada, like,
Yeah,
maybe hire someone if needed. And this is me and my little like baby ass social media agency. Why is Teresa not having the best of the best people and Louis having the best of the best people to make sure their shit is sorted out? It's just negligence and
yeah.
it's stupid. It's like, it's just so dumb. You can't even defend it. Like, what are we even doing right now?
It's indefensible. She's
Yeah.
irresponsible, and it makes me not like her.
Yes, I know. Honestly, people always ask like, "Why do you like Teresa? She's so crazy." And like, trust me, I get it. Honestly, I just feel like it's like that past version of her that I idealize, like in the very beginning of Real Housewives of New Jersey, when it's just her and the daughters and like screaming Melania and like ingredients and with No and Juicy Joe. Like that whole era was just
Yeah.
so funny to me. I miss that time, and that's how I remember her as. And I know she's not that
Yeah, I
anymore.
have a soft spot for her,
I
and
know I
it's
do.
hardening, Teresa. Like, you
I
gotta,
think it's also because, yeah, those were New Jersey was the first Housewives I really watched. So I think I just have that soft spot in my heart for her because of that. Whereas maybe with other Housewives, I would have just been like, well, I mean, no, like I still am annoyed with her. It's not like the fans who really kill me because there's worse tree huggers than us. Like I wouldn't even consider
yeah.
us tree huggers. We just like to watch her as a housewife. The tree huggers are insane. They're still defending this going on, number one. Like they will literally point out any other fault besides Teresa's. I saw this one TikToker and she's like complaining about Bethany talking shit about Teresa and why would Bethany be
Oh,
talking shit? She's not even a housewife. And it's like, can we focus on the core of the issue here?
yeah.
Like, why is Bethany talking shit?
Stop giving Bethany to talk shit about and she'll shut the fuck up. Like I know we
Exactly.
all wish she would, but like stop giving
Stop
her
giving her.
ammo.
There
Oh
was
my
another
God.
one that and it's like I don't want to like call these people out, so I'm not gonna say the names, but if you've seen it, then you know. But it's like this other bigger housewives platforms that they're like very pro Teresa. And again, you can like a housewife, but you have to admit when they're wrong. Like we're not
Yeah.
defending Karen Huger, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and these freaking accounts, they're like the go-to people that you always go to see Real Housewives of New Jersey stuff. So you think they would be posting about the Teresa thing. I go on there to see what they posted about. Literally, an article about Melissa lied about her nose job. What plastic surgery has she actually had? I'm like, are we serious? This is why people hate tree huggers because you guys are nuts. Let's
This
talk
is
about the elephant in the room. Why are we talking about Melissa's nose jobs?
this is why I think people hate Bravo and the Bravo fandom because it's so toxic. And I'm
Yeah,
learning that with the Garcelle leaving Beverly Hills of it all. I
beautiful
just
transition.
thank you. When I saw the moment and I was like, wait, this is reminded me of what I wanted to say about Beverly Hills because for me, well, let me just say, and then we'll get into it. We'll backtrack. So Garcelle Beauvais is leaving Real Housewives of Beverly Hills after 5 years. She posted a very eloquent, classy, head held high, graceful video about her leaving the franchise to focus on her family and her new career. I personally will say I used to only be in Atlanta girly until COVID. And then Garcelle joined Beverly Hills and she's their first black housewife. So I was like, of course I'm gonna watch it. That's how I started watching Beverly Hills, is because
Yeah.
I wanted to see Garcelle and she's 90s fine, she's 90s Hollywood, she's black Hollywood. She is a real icon,
Mm-hmm.
like she is a real actress with the real talent. She's not a Nepo baby. She doesn't have famous relatives.
Yeah.
She built her career 100% on her own. And since her announcing that she's leaving, Bree, seriously, I'm like, I don't think I want to watch Beverly Hills anymore. I think
I
I'm
barely
finally
want to watch it now.
right. I'm finally seeing like the toxic fandom because I didn't used to
Mm-hmm.
understand. Atlanta doesn't have it this way. And maybe it doesn't bother me with Atlanta because I obviously know they're not picking on a certain person because like they're not on Kenya because she's black.
Yeah. Yeah,
Because
yeah,
like
yeah.
everybody's black on this cast. Whereas Beverly Hills, the comments I've seen about Garcelle have seriously like been
Yeah.
affecting me because I'm like, why do I want like why am I putting myself in spaces and places that they literally don't want me in, even as like a viewer, as a fan, as a
Mm-hmm.
housewife, because obviously I see myself in Garcelle more than any of the other ones.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I did watch Beverly Hills before Garcelle was on because that's what my
Mhm.
mom used to watch. So I just like, I would watch it
Yeah.
with her. But I was so excited when Garcelle joins, and I thought it really was going to elevate the franchise. And I think it did. And I
Yeah.
think it brought in a lot of new viewers. Like you were saying, a lot of Black women started
Yeah.
watching Beverly Hills because a lot of the times they didn't think it was really for them.
Yeah.
So this was finally an entryway into that. And the thing with the Beverly Hills franchise, I'm so glad you said that. The fandom, I really do think it's a little bit different than other fandoms. All of the housewives have their own little subsections of
Yeah.
stands. And I think it got really bad with Beverly Hills. I noticed when the Fox Force 5 was in full effect, which was Kyle, Teddy, Erika, Dorit, and Lisa Rinna. They were so toxic and they were such mean girls in a way that it's
Yeah.
hard to describe to people without just like you just have to watch it. You know, it's not like oh they did this one major thing. It's just when you watch it you feel it, and I think you can finally I think we're finally starting to see that again, especially with this Watch What Happens Live with Bose and Erica, the way that they did not respond at all when Andy asked, like, oh, what do you think about Garcelle leaving? And there was just silence for 15 seconds. That's the mean girl shit that it's hard to put into words, but you just feel it. And I think that because I stopped watching Beverly Hills as much, I kind of, and Lisa Rinna went away, and then Teddy, like they both got fired, so it lessened a little bit. But I
Yeah.
think it's always been simmering, and seeing that
Yeah.
come out again with the whole Garcelle thing and her leaving, and then just like not being gracious, it was just so icky. I didn't like seeing that again.
Yeah, I have unfortunately watched this season of Beverly Hills for some reason, and Garcelle announced on the day that it was the season finale. I didn't even realize that it was the season finale because that's how anticlimactic it was. They put in the
Yeah.
trailer them dancing in St. Lucia, and that was just the last 15 minutes of the last episode of the season. So stupid. I literally don't give a fuck at this point. And then the trailer came out for the reunion, and usually they drop the trailer a couple weeks before. I feel like this was kind of late, and I don't know if this has to do like if these are related. I'm sure they are, but in the trailer that we see that Garcelle walks off
Yeah.
and she does not come back. I think she said they're such assholes. And I'm like, yeah, they are assholes because
Yeah.
the whole season you see everyone's so like Garcelle and Sutton, like Garcelle, you always stick up for Sutton, and Sutton's so far up Kyle's ass that it upsets Garcelle, obviously, because
Hmm.
she's like, I do all like I'm literally go for bat for you every single time, and you are out of pocket 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
And I go for bat for you, and then you're like, well, Kyle didn't say anything. It's like, girl, what do you like? I'm your friend. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, I just want you to have my back. Garcelle is the only one that's asking Kyle about her relationship with Morgan. The
Yep.
only one. And
Yep.
she's like, wait, why are we all rallying around you about Mo and having this new girlfriend when you've had a girlfriend on the show the last 2 years?
I love how she mentioned in the reunion trailer about how she's like, Kyle's like, she didn't sign up to be on this show. And Garcelle was like, she didn't sign up to be on this show this season. She
Yeah.
was on there last season. You're allowed to
Yeah.
talk about her.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. It'd be one thing if it was still like whisper, whisper. You just saw pictures of
Hmm.
them together. Y'all were on the show together, and you think no one's gonna ask you about it? Even Dorit. Dorit's money is very fucking funny. No one
Yep.
knows where they got their money from. Their money is sketch. They're always doing these things. They had the robbery. Several people I have seen have said that, I don't know about this. It feels a little
I
sticky.
bookmarked something on Twitter because Doree had the nerve to say, oh, who believes that? You and your 4 followers on Twitter when Garcelle mentioned the robbery. This was so many people were bringing this up. So I wanted to
Hmm.
bookmark this one tweet that was like, I'm one of the 4 people on Twitter along with Garcelle who still believes the robbery was fake and it has like 7,000 likes.
Right. A lot of us don't believe you, Dorit, because it doesn't make sense. We feel like you needed a storyline. You probably needed insurance money because your money's fucked up. We know that. PK is
Hmm.
not some, and then you drag PK's name through the mud, rightfully so. That he's a bad father, he's an alcoholic, he travels all the time, and you want me to sit here and believe that he's financially providing for you? Give me a break.
Yeah, this season was frustrating. I have been starting to watch it again in the background while I work, but I
Yeah.
haven't finished everything. And at first, I remember I was excited for Dorit to start popping off, and I was getting a little bit annoyed with Garcelle for just being like so like with the Dorit
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember even like feeling bad saying that because the thing with Beverly Hills is like because there is only one black woman, I don't even want to give the room to criticize her because people can take
Right.
it for more than what it's worth of just criticizing this episode, this moment, like not
Yeah.
her as a person. Um, but the more and more I'm watching, I am just realizing again how fucking annoying Dorit is.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad for somebody like Garcelle on a show like Beverly Hills because she's the only one who calls out the bullshit exactly as it is. Because in what other franchise would Kyle be able to do what she's doing? I'm going through a divorce, not telling you why. I have a girlfriend that I brought on last season. Now you're not allowed to talk about her. We got tattoos together. we were basically kissing in her music video, and I
Right.
was the
But
love interest in her music video, but you're not allowed to talk about it. And then bringing up even the stuff with Mo, like kind of insinuating that he cheated on her and that she lost the trust in him. And just like honestly, like the girls in the Bravo community, if you're like any but a little bit chronically online, the Mauricio Kyle cheating thing has been going on for years, literally
yeah.
years. And then Kyle insinuates it. But then when like she wants to act like I didn't bring that up, he didn't cheat on me. What are you talking about cheating? It's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, it's so frustrating how fake this shit is. And I feel like Garcelle is the only one who's like, you can be a lesbian if you want. Like just just talk about it. Like just be
Just
honest.
say that and we'd
Just
leave you
say it.
alone. Like, just say, you know what? I'm going through a lot of shit in my life. I'm trying something new. I would respect some privacy while I figure out myself because no one's gonna bog you down about your sexuality. We all could probably understand how like upsetting and how confused you are and like not how you feel and what you like, but you've been married to this man for 20 plus years and now you have a girlfriend. It's probably a lot going on in your mental space. That's all you have to say. You have daughters you want to protect, all these things. Like anyone can understand that. And then you're
The
just
the
gonna act
thing
like,
is though, I don't think these girls do understand that because they were hounding Denise Richards that one season. I don't know if you watched.
yes,
Do you remember that season?
yes,
Hounding her about her sexuality, but then it's like we're not even allowed to ask a question about Mo, Morgan, Mauricio, whichever Mo it is for the day. It's
bye.
insane. Kyle has just gotten away with way too much
Yeah,
and has and I like Kyle still. But I just think that it's not fair how she
yeah.
is a housewife making this much money. She's literally getting paid millions to talk about her life and she's not talking about her life.
She's this, her and Garcelle were the center of the show. If you go on Peacock and you see the title card for Beverly Hills, Garcelle is in the middle.
Hell
Kyle's on
yeah.
one side, Dorit's on the other side.
They need to the cast is gonna definitely be shaken up.
Yeah, they have to because it was such a flop in storyline this season, and I just feel and like back to the fandom of it all and the
Mm-hmm.
Fox Force 5, whatever the fuck they're called, like they did this to Denise Richards, they
Mm-hmm.
did this to Crystal, they do this to every new person that comes on the show, and it's like not warranted. I feel like everything like these are women with real talent. Denise
Mm-hmm.
Richards, sex symbol. Garcelle, sex symbol. These are real Hollywood. Like they could stand on their own without the show. They just use the show as a platform. And to see what they've done to those women and those their families, I don't know why everyone's forgetting that Erica cussed out Garcelle's son. I don't know why
Mm-hmm.
everyone's forgetting that Erica said she would fuck the other one. I don't know why everyone's forgetting that her kid was being bullied and harassed
Mm-hmm.
by bots,
Yeah.
and Dorit and Kyle were laughing at it with their husbands that they're no longer with.
Yeah.
Like, I would
There's a
say fuck
lot.
y'all too. And just for me to be like, look, I'm the only one that's actually showing up authentically. Like, yeah, you're not seeing my dating life, maybe because I don't have one, and maybe because I actually want to protect it because I see how y'all's miserable love lives are going now. Why would I bring that
Mm-hmm.
energy around you guys and I don't even feel like you really like me? It's just so frustrating. And then for Erica to say that maybe Garcelle's peaked as
That
if,
was an insane. Erica is so mean. At the end of the day, she is just such a mean-hearted person.
yeah,
And I remember thinking this season, because I mean, I fell for it a little bit in the beginning. I was like, oh, Erica's doing so well. She's playing a good job being a mediator. The first few episodes, she wasn't horrible, but she slowly slithered back into that mean ass, stank ass attitude she has. And it showed on Watch What Happens Live, whenever that filmed this week. I just, I don't know. She's so I don't know how else to say it besides she's so mean. She's
mean.
just so mean. And
She
it's so
is,
gross to watch.
she's bitter, she's mean, she like she's evil. I'm sorry. And I know if I went through something like Erica, which first of all, I wouldn't ever put myself in that kind of situation by marrying someone like 60 years older than me. Red flag number one.
Yeah.
But all of it, it's just like if I were in Erica's position, I'd be a bitter bitch too. And so that's why I can see
Mhm.
it for what it is. Like she's just mean. And then for her to go on there and, Andy asked her a question about like, how do you feel about Garcelle's reaction to you saying that she peaked? Because Garcelle was on Watch What Happens Live a week prior
Mhm.
without our knowledge that she had quit the show, but Andy obviously knew at that point that she had quit the show. And they asked her about Erica saying that she peaked, and she literally just said, fuck Erica. That's all she said.
Good.
So
Cuz
then the following week, when Erica was on, Andy asked her about that. And Erica said, well, we both married ugly white guys that cheated on us. But it was for love. Because that's what Garcelle said. She was like, well, I married for love, not for money. So, like, I don't know if Erica really knows what a peak is. Just for Erica to say that. I'm like, Erica, I was rooting for you. I was rooting for you because Sutton is so out of control this season
yeah.
that I'm like, honestly, anyone who's going toe to toe with
yeah.
Sutton, like, I'm on their side because Sutton has actually lost her goddamn mind.
She's out of her mind.
She is so annoying to watch. She's out of her mind. And then just to see how they treat Garcelle and at the reunion, it's just like, I'm gonna watch the reunion so I can talk to y'all about it. But after that, like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to watch this show anymore. I don't want to see the comments about Garcelle. They're gonna talk about Garcelle for the next 5 seasons in the comments on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok, and they're not good. Some people are like, Garcelle handled it well, but the comments that aren't really, really fucking bother me.
It's just not fun to be
Yeah,
in
it's
her
not fun.
fandom. It's yeah, it gets to a point where it's not fun. That's why I stopped watching Jersey for a while too, because
Yeah,
their fandom as well is really, really toxic with the Teresa Melissa stuff. And it's like you could always like one housewife more than the other, and you could still
of
talk shit
course.
about the other housewife, but it gets to a point where just some people just get so toxic with it. And I think it just feels gross with Beverly Hills because of the context of there only being one black woman. It just feels it 100% plays another role in it, because
Yeah.
it is that's just the reality. So
The kinds of things they're saying about her, like, oh, Garcelle lives in the trenches. What? Erica literally lives in a shoebox. And we're talking about where Garcelle lives.
and that's the thing. Her and Dorit are so fucking mean. And it's like, look at your life. And
Yeah.
but again, that's why they're mean. Dorit in that people thinking it was such a gag, her being like, you live on the main road to Sutton. Where do you live? Your house
Where do
is in
you
foreclosure. Shut up.
live? No, literally, shut up. You are so stupid. Oh, I hate the Dorit hyping up this season because everyone's like, no, she cleared. What?
I know. And
I,
it's like, I'm so mad that I even played a little part of it, but it was only because we only talked about like the first few episodes and then we
yeah.
stopped. And because it was so fucking boring and Dorit got worse, Erika got worse, that we haven't talked about our feelings since. So this is like a catch up on what
Yeah.
we've been thinking throughout the season, because I feel like we left you guys the last time we talked about Beverly Hills with like, yay, Dorit's finally clapping back. And now it's like, ugh,
No.
we've had
Annoying.
enough.
I'm
It
annoying.
gets to a certain point.
It gets to a point. It will always get to a point where I can't fucking take it anymore and I can't take Beverly Hills anymore. Sutton has lost her goddamn mind. Garcelle is experiencing macroaggressions at work, literally, can relate. Kyle is not being honest. Erica is a snake. Dorit needs to shut the fuck up. Bose, I'm gonna give you a little bit of grace because this is your first rodeo, and she's like a real corporate boss babe. She comes from a world where HR is a real thing, so I'm gonna give you a little bit of grace for having bad answers because I know you're trying to keep it.
It was such a corporate answer.
Yes,
I'm
you're.
disappointed in her for leaving, but I wish her all the best. Why are you disappointed in her? Who are you to say?
Yeah,
She left on top. She
yeah.
left to be with her family and she didn't get fired. And I'm already seeing some creators online being like, by the way, I read Andy Cohen's book, and he mentioned in the book how they often fire housewives, but they let them say, oh, we left, and we don't like tell them any differently because we just, let them do whatever. Trying to almost insinuate the fact that Garcelle got fired and Andy's just letting her have his way. That is, if you read all the context clues, you could immediately debunk it. On Andy's little radio show after, he talked about it and he was like, yeah, Garcelle quit and told me, had a conversation with me in New York. We went to dinner before Watch What Happens Live, and we had a really real conversation. She told me why she was doing it. I totally understood. And then I told her I really want her back in like a year or two, whenever she wants to come back. How does that equal she got fired? Like, you guys, and that's why it feels like a macroaggression. Because why? Why?
Yeah. Why do you think she got fired?
Yeah, why do you think she
I don't
got
like
fired?
her. No, it's sick. I'm over it. Jennifer Tilly, I guess you can stay as a friend. Um, Kathy,
I don't need it anymore. Like, we get the bit. Okay, bye.
yeah. And yeah, I could go on a whole diatribe about Kathy Hilton, but I won't for the
The
sake of,
whole cast, I'm not feeling.
yeah, I'm not into any of them now that Garcelle is gone. So,
Disappointing. Well, let's talk about the last little Bravo news. Our not Housewives, but Summer House Southern Charm drama.
dead.
Let's talk about all this. So this has been going on for a while now. This Loverboy versus Spritz, Kyle Cooke, Craig Conover drama. But now that Summer House is airing now, we're seeing it finally play out. So I kind of wanted to chat about it because
Yeah,
I think
fill me in.
also, yeah, so Becky doesn't know about it, so I'm going to fill her in. But also, I'm sure a lot of you guys probably don't know about it, but are seeing Bravo people talk about it. And it's like, what is happening? So, okay, let's get into it. Like, what is actually happening? So Kyle Cooke is on Summer House and he founded his own hard tea cocktail can company called Loverboy. And then Craig Conover is on Southern Charm and he just invested or became an investor in this other canned cocktail company, Spritz Society. And it's like also meta because Spritz Society, if you guys know, is owned by a very big podcast, The Toast. And I mean, like what? Like all of them? Or it's
Yeah,
Claudia and her husband, but I'm pretty sure like the whole Oshtray family is investors in it.
yeah.
So
And Dear Media is an
yes. And so like
investor.
they've talked about it on their podcast when this happened, like in May, but now we're seeing it happen air in Summer House now. So I don't know. The whole thing's crazy. So let's start with like what the main issue is. So Kyle is upset with Craig because Craig became an investor in Spritz Society. Kyle owns Loverboy. And he basically said on Summer House last night, this is what I quoted because like I was like, what is the main issue here?
Yeah.
Kyle said, if I knew that my friend put his blood, sweat, and tears into a company, I would never work with his competitor. So he's trying to say, like, I've been working my ass off for Loverboy. And like, if you've watched Summer House, I think the good thing about, or what I love the most about Summer House is they didn't start off as famous people or have money. They started off as people with just regular jobs going to the Hamptons every summer. So we've kind
Hmm.
of seen Kyle really grow Loverboy into what it is. Like, I want to be an entrepreneur. He started this company. It actually started to work out. So he's like definitely put his blood, sweat, and tears into this company. And he's like pissed off that his friend is investing in a competitor. Craig said back to him, okay, but you're keeping money out of people's pockets by doing that. So, like, for Craig, it's about the money,
Right.
which I also understand. Like, I see both
Yeah.
their points of views because
Yeah.
in what other show would it be that, okay, so it's like Kyle is on the cast with Paige and their friends, and Paige's boyfriend, ex boyfriend now, but boyfriend on another show is not allowed to do a drink brand because
Yeah.
her, like, that's just like it's so
Yeah.
disconnected. It just feels like a lot of what Kyle was asking for him to not do. But anyways, Kyle mentions that basically he doesn't like how he went about it, and that's why he's mad at Craig because he does feel like they have a friendship. So I was like, okay, well, how did he go about it? So apparently, Craig went to Kyle and told him that he's going to invest in Spritz, but if he gave him an option to invest in Loverboy instead, he would do that. So Kyle was like,
Mhm.
okay, let me get back to you. I'm going to think of a proposal for how you can invest and I'll let you know. But the gag was Craig had already like signed a deal. So basically he didn't give Kyle any time to be like, oh, here's the
Yeah.
proposal. He was like, I already did it. Like I kind of was just asking you probably to be
Yeah.
nice, but he already did it. So Kyle was just mad because he feels like my friend invested in this competitor. You didn't even give me a chance for you to invest, which I understand. So now
Yeah.
going back in like May 2024, this is when it was first brought up on Watch What Happens Live. Last year, Kyle brought it up and he said that Craig is a liar and rubbed him and like the whole situation rubbed him the wrong way because Craig was trying to say, it wasn't that big of a deal and like act like nothing really happened. He was definitely like trying to make it not sound as bad.
Seems
Um,
familiar as to what he's doing right now in the press.
Exactly, exactly. And the thing is like with Kyle is he could be very emotional and very dramatic and annoying, but that doesn't mean he's not telling the truth.
Yeah, yeah.
Like Craig is a liar. And also
Craig
this is
is a
no,
liar.
he literally said it on he's like, I'm a storyteller and a lawyer.
That's what I watched this season of Southern Charm. Craig is known to lie. Like he
Like
is a
he admits
liar.
it. And that's what Kyle said. He was like, it was they cut that part from showing it on Summer House, but on Watch What Happens Live, he said after, he's like, it's been proven on the shows. Like he said it himself that he's a liar. But then like where the toast gets brought into this is they had an episode after Watch What Happens Live to clear things up and obviously to defend Craig. And they said that, oh, wait, sorry, one more important thing of what Kyle said. Kyle mentioned on Watch What Happens Live that he met with the founder of Spritz Society, which is Ben, Claudia's husband, and that he milked information from him right before the deal with Craig went through. So then
Oh, okay. Now I remember this because I was literally with you when we watched this episode last
like,
May.
how did this happen? Yeah. So he
Okay.
brought up Ben specifically and was like, yeah, the founder had dinner with me and milked all the information out of me right before the Craig deal went through. So then I went to see the toast, what they said about it. And Claudia said how Kyle doesn't pay anyone on the show for Loverboy and he's robbing them because honestly, like Summer House is a big Loverboy ad. They always drink Loverboy, they're always drinking it.
Yeah.
But he doesn't pay them for their name or likeness or image, anything. And if you think about it, these are big influencers at this point. Like
Yeah.
Paige is a
Give me money
huge
coin.
influencer to be always showing off your fucking cocktail can every
Yeah.
summer. And they don't pay them. So she mentioned how he's robbing them and they pay their influencers for name, likeness, image, yada yada. So they were going to pay Craig. So like why wouldn't Craig want to
Yeah.
invest in them? Especially cuz I guess it was organic. They were going to a Taylor Swift concert or something like that and Craig was drinking the things with them and he was like, "Oh, these are really good. What is this?" And they're like, "Oh, that's our company." And then he was like, "I want to buy in." So that's apparently how it happened. But this was, I thought, interesting. She tried to defend her husband, obviously, which, we all would. But she says, if you know Ben, you know he's not capable of deception. He's a golden retriever. He would never do something like that, yada, yada. But she does say that they did meet up for dinner. She's like, yeah, even on our Patreon, I vlogged it. Like, oh, Ben is going out to dinner with Kyle Cooke tonight. And she mentioned that because Kyle tried to say, oh, this happened right before the Craig deal.
Mhm.
Claudia was giving us all these details and facts of being like, no, it was actually a few weeks before, not like a day
Mhm.
before. He's lying about that, blah, 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 giving all these facts. And to me, it was you're giving like all these little details about things that don't matter. Like, who cares about when they met? Did he milk information out of
Yeah.
him? Like, she never said that, Like, she was just like, oh, he's not capable of deception. He's a golden retriever. That doesn't mean he didn't do it.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if
You know what
I
I mean?
yeah, why wouldn't he try to get information out of his competitor?
And so she was like, yeah, they have a lot in common as entrepreneurs and they had a friendly chat and it shouldn't be competitive. But I don't know. Who's to say? It could have been if Kyle feels like he was getting information milked out of him, I understand why he feels that way. Because then
Yeah.
for him to see a few weeks later, wait a minute, we were talking this whole time and you knew that you were doing a deal with one of my friends on Bravo. And
Yeah.
Claudia, mentioned like, of course, Ben didn't tell Kyle about the Craig deal because why would they? They just met and that would be weird.
If anything, Craig should have already told Kyle this.
And that's the problem. That is the issue here, which I guess like for Ben, yeah, he didn't really need to bring it up.
Yeah.
Because he probably thought Craig would bring it up to Kyle.
Yeah, and
So
I
that's where the
wouldn't.
loyalty is.
Yeah, and if I were Ben, I wouldn't want to get in the middle of it. Like, I wouldn't want to be the first person to tell you.
Yeah.
However, would I invite you out to dinner and like talk about business, knowing in the back of my head that I'm doing a deal with your best friend? I would think that's weird. I could
Yeah.
not do it.
Yeah. So it's just weird because I see both their points of view. I see
Yeah.
Craig being like, you shouldn't, I should be allowed to do a drink brand. Like, what do I have to do with you on another
Yeah.
show? But I also see Kyle being annoyed, being like, I wanted to give you an option to invest. You just didn't give me a chance. You went behind my back before I could even do it.
Yeah.
So, how are we supposed to, I don't know.
Craig is so annoying. I'm
He
sorry.
really is so annoying. And he's like, and also, I have to give context. I only watch Summer House and I don't watch Southern Charm. I feel like that changes my perception of Craig because these people, these women ride so hard for Craig. Like, I'm scared we're about to get
I
one star
don't know
rating
why,
because of
Brie.
this.
I don't know why, because
No,
I
they
watched
ride
Southern
so
Charm.
hard for him. And I just feel like it's because they watch Southern Charm. And I think on Southern Charm, he kind of has like that trope of being like, out of the three, Shep, Austin, and him, he's
Well,
probably the least
yeah.
bad. So, like, oh, he's the lovable one, blah, blah, blah. But on Summer House, we have enough of those lovable goofs. So he just comes across as Paige's bitter boyfriend. I don't like him on there the way I see him edited. So that's my context of why I definitely am siding a little bit more with Kyle, as annoying and as crybaby as he is.
Yeah.
I think that Craig probably was a little funny about how he did it.
Craig is so I watched most of this latest season of Southern Charm because Housewives wasn't doing it for me. And then I watched a little bit of the older seasons of Southern Charm when it was like pop and its puss.
Yeah,
Um,
the peak eras.
yeah, peak Southern Charm. And I don't fucking like Craig. I don't know why him and what is Paige? Oh my gosh. I don't know why they were ever together. I don't know how they got together. I don't know why they thought they would work.
I always kind of thought that too.
It doesn't make any sense. If you, knowing what I've seen from Paige online, because I haven't watched Summer House, and then watching Southern Charm and seeing Craig, I'm like, I would have never put this is like, I don't think it's PR, but it's definitely helped both of their brands, their businesses, their shows. But there was no way they were gonna work out. Craig is literally from South Carolina, pastel colors, chubbies, boat shoes, wants to get married and have a baby. He was wearing pearls like 3 seasons ago with popped collars.
Popped
Like,
collars.
and then Paige is Long Island Italian. Girl, you need to go be with Pete Davidson. Like, what the fuck are we talking about here? Why are you with the president of Pi Kappa? I'm confused.
It never made sense. Honestly, at the time, looking back, now that I could be kind of detached about it, again, not saying it was PR, but it was giving PR in the sense that I feel like they were both in their peaks of Summer House was really starting to take off. Paige was kind of becoming the breakout star. And then Craig was also having his peak moments in Southern Charm. And it was almost like, oh my God, it looks so cool for us to be together because we're both, the peak breakout stars of our show
Yeah.
at this time. And Craig kind of had a relationship with Kyle, and that's how he was able to be on Summer House. So he would like come sometimes in the summer, and then that's how him and Paige would kind of talk. But it would never. I don't know. It just always felt like something that should have been left a situationship. They hook
Yeah.
up. They have a lot of
Yeah.
sexual tension, attraction, whatever, but it never
Yeah.
really goes anywhere. I was actually very shocked that it lasted as long as it did.
100%. Because, like, despite everything I just said talking shit about Craig, he's like 6'5", 230 pounds. Like, I would
No,
blush
he's
around
handsome,
him. Yeah,
and Paige is beautiful. So
yeah, and like that makes sense. Like, oh, attractive person seeing another attractive person, like totally. But when we get into like characteristics and
yeah.
lifestyle and interests and hobbies and thought and like worldview. It doesn't make any sense. Like
None.
Paige in Charleston, South Carolina, Craig in New York, that does not, neither one of those things make sense.
No, not at all. And well, okay, now that we're talking about them, I want to tell you what happened on Summer House last night because now Paige is finally opening up more about their relationship. And you can see now this summer that, like, oh, yeah, they were going to break up. So,
Yeah.
and I feel like she's very protective of Craig. She's never really been super honest about the nitty gritty of their relationship. And I
Yeah.
feel like this is the first time we really saw it. And I like Summer House so much because I feel like they forget the cameras are there sometimes because it's filmed like Big Brother. They just have cameras in all the
Yeah.
rooms. So it was just her and Sierra talking on the bed, having like a girly conversation, just girl to girl. And it felt so real. And I was like, oh shit, she's really opening up. And she
Yeah.
mentioned last night that she's like, yeah, I'm really upset with Craig right now. She was like whispering, like you could tell it was real. And Sierra was like,
Yeah.
why? Like, what happened? And she's like, well, he was telling me that it doesn't look good that I have all of these things going on and I'm busier than him. Like it could come across negatively. And Paige was like, yeah, it looks negative for you, but why wouldn't
Yeah.
you? Like it would valid because like right now they're having these problems where it looks like Paige is so busy they don't have enough time. And she was like, it would validate my shit if you would be like telling everybody, like, oh, yeah, Paige is really busy right now. But like he doesn't want to because it would make her look better than him. So
Yeah.
she
Like,
was saying, like, she literally said, she's like, am I dating a secret hater? And Sierra was like, that's not good. So her saying that, she's starting to realize. No, you need to watch Summer House. It's starting to get good.
whoa.
Yeah. So she's like finally starting to realize that. And then she mentioned in the confessionals that she's going on tour and Craig is really weary about it and upset about it because he feels like he's not going to be checked in on enough. And she said in the confessional, I told him, you're my boyfriend. You can come to any city that I stop at.
Yeah.
But I've been working for this my entire life. It's 3 months. She literally said in the confessional,
Yeah.
she's like, I'm not going to war. You can visit me at any time you want.
Yeah.
And it's just 3 months. I'm going to be traveling a lot and then we go back to our normal lives. But let me have this. This is the peak of my career and you're not
Yeah.
letting me have it. And I was like, yeah, you could tell they
Oh,
were about to break up after hearing
yeah.
that.
Because then didn't he show her like a tour documentary of ABBA, how they broke up after going on tour? And it's
Yes.
like, not you trying to gaslight me into thinking this is a bad idea. Like this is, and you know
Yeah.
what? Guess what? Paige is a mass comm cherry bomb. She is a broadcast journalism student, so she really has been working towards this her entire life. And I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
let some man and an Easter yellow sweater vest tell me I can't like succeed in my career or I should tone myself down to make him look better, let him feel better about him and his career.
Yes.
Bye.
That was really shocking to me because any normal relationship, yes, obviously it may put a little bit of strain if you're traveling for 3 months all the time. But if you're
Of
solid in that,
course.
it's just, okay, this is your dream 3 months. That's a normal sacrifice to be like, you do what you got to do. You have worked your
Yeah.
entire life for this. I'm so happy for you. And I will be there whenever you want me. I'll go to whatever city you want. That's what a normal boyfriend would do.
Yeah.
Not send her documentaries on ABBA breaking up because they went on tour after Paige is like, I literally just got on beta blockers because I have so much anxiety and you're
Yeah.
sending me this shit.
Also, you're already in a long distance relationship. What does it matter if she's in Kentucky versus New York?
Thank you. I didn't get that at all. I don't get it at all. He's just, oh my God.
A
I
secret
really hope the Craig
hater.
girls don't find this podcast.
I hope they do because I need them to wake up. Like, you guys are going to war about that man. Oh my God, don't make me sick.
It's embarrassing. I'm really happy that she's finally being honest about everything going on because I love seeing all of the real stuff. This is reality TV at its peak, and that's why I like Summer House because I feel like with the way they film it, they do have more of those conversations that don't feel as produced. It feels
Yeah.
very real, like just the girls in the bathroom talking, and it's like, oh my God, are we eavesdropping?
Yeah.
That was a
That's
good
our,
one today.
that's our show. We hope you enjoyed taking a gossip break with us as much as we enjoyed having it and that it was the cherry on top of your day. We hope you have a fabulous weekend. Y'all already know the drill. Make sure you're following us on Instagram at Gossip Break Pod and on TikTok at Gossip Break. Shameless plug, but we're on Threads now. So make sure you follow us at Gossip Break Pod on there as well. And then, of course, make sure you leave us a 5-star review and share this with a friend.
We love you, girlies. Have a great weekend.
Bye.